So you've agreed to write a recommendation online and you're wondering what you've gotten yourself into. Hopefully this little video will take you through and show you just what you need to do, and I think how easy it can be to submit letters of recommendation for colleges through our Naviance account. So the way you're going to get there, you'll actually get an email from me when we set up an account. But once you have your account set up, you'll go to succeed.naviance.com and sign in here at your account. And so our account name is Iolani, and your username is actually whatever the first part of your Iolani email address is. So I'm using a different one here, but that's how you will log in. And I would say, remember me and actually bookmark this page on your computer so it's easy to find. Now, I don't know about you. This says teacher's desk. My desk is nowhere near this, has nowhere near this much white space on it. But what you're actually going to be doing, and you can really think about Naviance as a series of tabs. Home will always bring you back home. This is students is how you can look up particular students. But for the most part, you're really going to be interested in here in your teacher's desk. And what you're going to do is manage and complete your college recommendations. So when you click on that, what pops up is the two students. There are two students who've asked me to write recs for them, Ilse Iolani and Robbie Rader. And there are a few things you can notice on the screen. Here's my name, John Teacher. There are action steps that you can take by clicking on. There's a nearest deadline, and I'll talk a little bit about how deadlines can actually be a bit misleading and why you might want students to provide you with a paper list of deadlines. And in some cases, some students will actually write a little note. So Ilsa wrote us a note. What did she say? Mr. Teachu, thank you for agreeing to write my recommendation. My schools are in the college list, thanks. So that gives us a little bit. But the main thing to recognize is that you'll be looking at prepare forms. So if I'm going to do Robbie's forms, the first thing I will click on is prepare forms. And that'll take me to a version of Robbie's account. This is what I see when I log in as the college counselor, but it's also, you have access to this page as well. And it defaults to the eDocs tab. And that's where you'll be preparing documents and uploading them. But you can actually look around in here as well and see a few other things. If we click on the General tab, that gives a little bit of general information about Robbie. The Colleges tab is where his list of schools is actually located. So Colorado State, Creighton, Georgetown, UH Manoa, Marist, Santa Clara, USC, and Washington State are the schools he's applying to. Each of these delivery types, you don't have to worry too much about that. These are the ways that the material gets submitted. And the blue common application is really what we're talking about. And that's where you're going to be doing most of your recommendations. Washington State says that they have to receive transcripts by mail, but Washington State doesn't actually need any teacher recommendations, so it's a non-issue. And again, that's why it's important that the student provide you with a list of the schools that they're asking you to submit your recommendation to. Because within this list, there would be no need to send to Washington State or honestly, UH Manoa doesn't read teacher recommendations, things like that. But anyway, you can always come back here to your eDocs tab. And what you're going to do is come down here to teacher documents, and you're going to add new documents. The first thing that you'll add is the common application teacher eval. And this is really if you've ever done a common application recommendation, here's what you've seen. And so how long have you known the students? 2 years as instructor. And what are the first words? Brilliant and friendly and humble. And what grades did you teach him in? I taught him in 11th grade, and I taught him in algebra 2B, let's say. You can do the check boxes. If you'd rather not do the check boxes, you don't have to. What I've always said is if you do check boxes for one student, then I think you should really do them for all the students, just to be fair. So once I fill that out and I did those check boxes, I would make sure my information is here. Oh, I said I was a math teacher, and all this information is correct, and I would save the form. Now, when I look in here, I can see what I've just done. The Common Application Teacher Eval shows up here. I'm the author, John Teacher. The date that I loaded it in, the size, which you don't have to worry about. If I wanted to look at it and say, does that look the way I thought it should, I can actually pull that open and take a look at the actual PDF version of the Common Application Teacher Eval. And there it is, Robbie Rader, and my information that I had put in the 2 years as an instructor. If I had used the check boxes, they would appear there as well. So that looks good. I'm happy with that. The next thing I have to do is actually upload the letter of recommendation, the proper letter of recommendation. And to do that, you click on that little box. And what you'll notice here is that this is actually, it asks you, is this for all applications or is this for a particular college? My recommendation is to send the same letter of recommendation to all colleges. It makes it much easier from a simplicity standpoint. If you choose to write different letters of recommendation, that's fine, and that's certainly your choice. But you'll need to make sure that you do one for each of the schools that the student wants you to send the recommendation to. But if you're doing just one letter of recommendation for all the schools, and if you were to do that, you would address it to the admissions committee or something general like that. You would simply browse. I saved it to my desktop, and I would look here on my desktop and find that there it is, Robbie Rader's recommendation. I would simply click that, upload it, and you'll see that, okay, it's a pending upload, that it's going to be uploading soon. And within a matter of minutes, at peak times, it might take as many as 2 or 3 minutes, but most of the time it's fairly quick. It will pop up in here under the common application. It'll actually say written evaluation. Again, it'll have me as the author, um, and it says, oh, okay, it was successfully uploaded. So if I were to look at this and refresh this page, then I would see it appearing there now as I've done the teacher evaluation and the letter of recommendation, and I could view them. If I didn't like it, if I uploaded the wrong one, I can delete it. Pretty straightforward in that regard. That is technically all you need to do. If you want me to take care of the rest, I am happy to do that, because now you'll see that you've done your part. Your recommendation is loaded in there, and I will be adding in other parts. I'll load in a transcript, I'll load in what's called the school report form and a written evaluation. I'll do all these pieces. And when I go to send the transcripts, I will also send your letter of recommendation. So really, you don't have to worry anything more about it. The one thing that sometimes helps put students' mind at ease is if you've finished loading your letters in, you might want to go back to the home page and click on this again. And this time with Robbie Rader, since you've done his forms, you've completed it. The form is in there, but you see the status shows in progress still. That's actually all the student can see, is that you are in progress. So to put their mind at ease, you can select the box by their name, and then under here, process selected recommendation request, change it to say mark as completed. And if I do that, it will say, is this what you want to do? Yep, I did his recommendation, and now it shows as completed. So when Robbie Rader logs into his version of Family Connection, he'll see that you have in fact done your recommendation, that it's been completed. And that's, again, really all you need to do. I recognize this is a different way of doing things. I think once you do a few of them, it becomes very natural. But I'm always happy to help out. And if you want some additional advanced topics, we'll look at doing those in another video. But when you're done with your recommendations, you can always come back to your homepage and just sign out, and you're done for the day. Saves a trip to the post office, saves some envelopes, and saves some paper. Thanks.